4 weeks between kids getting married, grandsons visiting. It's just been a lot of family stuff going on. So, anyway, I appreciate everybody stopping by. Hey, Cindy Tebbs, Kenneth, welcome in. I got a ton of stuff in the catalog today. I think there's 48 lots in the auction catalog, then plus a ton more in the buy it now. I do have shipping capped at, I think it's 921. So once you hit 921, you will have free shipping the rest of the show, and buy it now and auction items apply to that. So anyway, welcome in. Hey, M Curios, thanks for stopping by. I figured what I'd do is probably go through these first 5 lots in order from 1 to 5. And then if you have any requests for anything, put those lot numbers in the chat, or you can pre-bid. I'll try to keep an eye on those. And we will start running those as they come in. Hey, Gremlin. Hey, Okie Darcy. Thanks for stopping by. As mentioned, I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. I'm here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Don't know if we have any other Tennesseans in the chat. I know I have some regular people who stop by who are from Tennessee as well. In addition to Whatnot, I sell on a bunch of other online marketplaces and also have 3 antique booths here in the Knoxville area. So if you're ever coming through, make sure you stop by Beard and Antique Mall, West End Antiques, or Granny's Attic in Clinton, Tennessee, and say hi. Hey, Pastry Jeff and the Picker Nose, thanks for coming in. So as I mentioned, we'll start with lot 1, go through 5, and then we'll take it from there, and I'll just start grabbing stuff or let your request and pre-bids lead the way. So let me get the camera turned around here real quick. And we will get started. Oh yeah, and you can go, if you go to franklinhillventures.com, that has links to all my social media, as well as a podcast that I host. There's my coffee mug over there, called the Finders Flippers Resale Podcast, and myself and the Slim Flipper Wes and Johnny from Frizzy's Finds talk a little bit of reselling every week on YouTube and on Spotify. So yeah, just search for Finders Flippers Resale Podcast and give us a follow. We'll be having another live here pretty soon to celebrate hitting 300 subscribers, and looking forward to the next year of shows, because we've been doing it just a little over a year now. Hey, Corey. Hey, Kel Bryan, Fant Judy, Michelle. Hey, Dry Creek Trading Company. Also, if you're a seller on here, feel free to advertise your shows, promote yourself, do whatever. I do not mind at all. Oh, thanks for the raid, Margaret Bednar. Oh, golly, I didn't even put a giveaway in there. Let me see if I can grab a giveaway here real quick. I think I got some postcards I can give away. Let me just grab a stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We'll just do these 12 postcards that I pulled out. Let me add a giveaway real quick, and then we'll get started with the auctions. So I think these are all antique vintage. This one does have some wear, but there's London, Buckingham Palace. Oh, these, I got lucky and seemed to pull out all ones that seem to have a theme of London here. So this will be a giveaway. Let me get it loaded, then we'll get that started. I just completely forgot to add giveaways to the thing, and I really appreciate the raid from Margaret. Make sure you're following her. Let's see. Let's create a temporary listing. I do not need to create a quality listing for a giveaway. So we will do giveaway. Let me just go ahead and create a couple of those. We'll make it that shipping profile. There are no restricted or potentially hazardous materials in that listing. Well, let's see. Confirm. Oh, guess I gotta select a category. Yeah, this is what I should have created it on the. I'm just going to do it in the and whatnot category. Confirm. Whoops, hold on. I forgot to make it a bigger quantity than one. Oh, it won't let me now. All right, we'll just go ahead and do this one. So this giveaway is running, starting now. So it'll be for these, I think I said it was 12 vintage postcards. They're probably all 19, maybe 20s, 30s, somewhere in that range. So anyway, that's the giveaway. And thank you for everybody stopping by and for Margaret for their aid. And let me see who else I've got in here. Then we'll get started with lot one. As if you weren't in here a second ago, I'm going to go lot 1 to 5 just to start with. Then I'll watch the chat and do request and pre-bids. So be looking through the catalog. And I do have shipping capped at $9.21. So once you hit a pound of stuff, your shipping will be free the rest of the show. And that applies to both auction and buy it now items. Let me see who all we had come in here real quick. Oh, thanks for the share, M&M Curios. Hey, Leanne Phoenix, thanks for saying hi and stopping by. Hey, Desiree71. My Cat Cheebs, Broter, Engine Company 72, Chesterton, Cavs Nation, Blue Beret, 15G80. Anybody else I've missed, thanks for coming by. And let's go ahead and get started. So, lot number 1, let's see, and that is already pinned. And you've got 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the giveaway for the postcards. So I thought this was pretty neat. I'd never seen it before. It's a football game from 1970. And I assume it came in a cereal box since it's Kellogg's. And you use regular playing cards. So I guess on the kickoff, you would draw a card and it tells you how long it went. And then kickoff and punt return. And you got all your different running plays, passing plays. It does say copyright 1970 by the Bolin Company. And then it's branded Kellogg's Professional Football Game using playing cards. And it's got the instructions on the back. No rips or tears to this. As a bonus, you can also learn what all the umpires' signals are. So we will go ahead and run this. Everything I think is starting at $3 today, other than one thing I think I have starting at $1 because it had some condition issues. But everything else is going to be a $3 start. So here we go. We'll just run it for 20 seconds. Not sudden death. And that's off and running. So a 1970 Kellogg's Professional Football Game appears to have been a serial promo. And like everything, nothing's been cut out here. So everything is complete. Hey, Retro Relics. Thank you for the bid, Ellen Little. Everything will ship out no later than Monday. There's a chance it might ship out tomorrow. Sometime I get a wild hair and do my packing tonight or in the morning. But I never commit except to have it out by Monday. There's a minute 49 in the giveaway, so make sure you get in that. And thank you so much, Ellen Little, for that. So now we'll go to lot 2. And this is a batch of vintage postcards. And as I mentioned, if you have any requests, put those lot numbers in the chat, and I'll try to watch for them. If I miss it, just type it again, yell at me, do something, get my attention. And you can also pre-bid, not P-bid. In fact, I think there's already, let's see what has pre-bid so far. We got 3 with pre-bids, so we'll get to those here in just a little bit. So let's go in and pin lot number 2. And this is going to be 25 antique and vintage postcards. There's 59 seconds in the giveaway. So here's a Christmas postcard. It is nicely embossed there, unposted. Here's another Christmas postcard. First I thought it was a haunted house, but I think it's a church. That one also embossed. Here's one that's threshing rice near Crawley, Louisiana. That one does have a crease up in the top and some wear along the edge there. That one has been written on and posted. It does not have the year though. This one is Sundial Rock Island Arsenal. 20 seconds in the giveaway. Hey, Drowning and Stuff. Hey, Collect, Sell, Trade, My Diversity. Anybody else I missed? This one's 1917. And then here's In the Heart of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. That's right down the road from me. That's an old water wheel. I live in Knoxville, so I'm very, very close to the Smokies. Here's a Quiz Kids. And Dry Creek Trading Company won. Hold on, let me write his name on a sticky note here real quick. Congratulations, Brian. Everybody make sure you follow Brian. He also does shows on Whatnot. And as I mentioned, anybody else who sells, feel free to promote any upcoming shows that you happen to have. You're welcome. So here's a Quiz Kids show. Looks like somebody submitted a question to this show. And there's a couple of these Quiz Kids, and I think there are like 2 of each of these maybe. So those are the only duplicates. Sponsored by Alka-Seltzer. I assume this was a TV show, maybe in the 60s or 50s. Yeah, so there's the dupe. It's this one here that's got, looks like 3 of that particular one. So here is You Should Worry Like a Fisherman and Drop a Line to Knoxville, Tennessee, as I would be glad to hear from you. Roller skate and fell down. And then there's the Smoky Mountain National Park again. There's the Metropolitan Life Insurance Building in New York City. So we go from Knoxville to New York, 1923. And it's got a nice Red Cross cancellation there. Here's a Valentine's postcard. As you can see, it does have some staining, a little bit of wear across the top. Postmarked in Knoxville, 1920, I believe it is. Then here's the home of John Sevier, first governor of Tennessee. That's actually pretty close to where I grew up in Knoxville. And there's a crocodile caught by Alligator Joe in Florida. 1917. Tell you what, let me go in and start this one, and then I'll finish showing it. Let me put it on 45 seconds, and we'll let that run as I finish showing these. And that is off and running. Here's the Summer Cottages, the East Prong of the Little River. Here's another Christmas one with the horseshoe. Nice and embossed, 1911. Then there's Rock Island, Illinois. That is the Rock Island Arsenal. Thanks for the bid, Chesterton. Here's the Whittle Springs Bathing Pool in Knoxville. I don't know if that's still there or not. I know there's a Whittle Springs Park, but here's Christmas Gifts, the November Topaz Fidelity. This is from Hope Brothers, which I guess was a jeweler here in Knoxville. That one's 1908, maybe. Then here's the Royal Hotel in Kincaid, Ontario. Ooh, good deal, Chesterton. Let me just show you the rest of these real quick. Merry Christmas. Warren World has no use for the feller that hasn't hit his mark. And then that. All right. Let's see. Where did my bag go? There we go. Oh, cool. So Brian from Dry Creek Trading Company is doing an I'm Back stream. That's what I could have called this one because, as I mentioned at the beginning, due to my daughter getting married last weekend, the week before that, we had my grandson in town for a whole week. It's been a while since I've been on, so welcome back. And that's Thursday at 2 o'clock. And are you Central Time, aren't you, Brian? I think that's 2 o'clock Central, but just clarify that. Hey, Lose 3 Minions, thanks for coming in. All right, so next up, we have a 1932 horse racing tip sheet. So yeah, 3 East, or 2 East, 2 Central, 3 Eastern. 1 Mountain, noon Pacific. I think I got all that right. This is a tip sheet for horses, and it looks like this is one you got for free, and then they're trying to get you to subscribe to their tip sheet. So here's your Latonia race, I guess. Here's a Maryland race, and yeah, you could get 5 weeks of these for $1, 3 months for $2.50, or a whole year for $8. So pretty cool graphics on the front. So, but this is from 1932. And let's go ahead and start this. Hey, Fowler Inn, thank you for stopping by. We do not need to do 45 seconds. We'll go back to just 15, and that's off and running for the horse racing tip sheet from 19. Yes, somebody did buy the postcards, Brian. Thank you, Michelle, for the bid on that. I love the graphics in this. So, all right, Michelle, that will be coming your way. And we will go ahead and do lot 4 now. And as I mentioned, if anybody has any requests, just put those lot numbers in the chat or get a pre-bid in. We'll go ahead and jump over to those pre-bids next. The ones that I have, I think there were 3 last time I checked. So this is going to be a Tux Christmas card and then a 1910 recessional book that's Rudyard Kipling. So the Tux Christmas card's in pretty good shape. It looks like it's got a little pinhole right here, or maybe, well, also here. So they must have had it, tacked up to something. But you have the nice angels visiting the shepherds here. And then on the back, you got the Raphael Tuck and Sons. I was looking to see if this one had a date. Yeah, I don't think this one has a date, but I'm assuming it's in a similar time frame to the booklet there. So there's the Tux Christmas card. And then you have this recessional by Kipling. Now, I will point out this does have some staining that goes all the way through the book. Looks like maybe it got wet at some point or something. It doesn't really have any smell or anything, but it does have that staining at the bottom of the pages. It's less noticeable inside than on the cover, but nonetheless, it's still there. So, but lots of good images in this. And as mentioned, it's from 1910. So let's go ahead and get this started for these 2 items. And this will run for 15 seconds and we are off and running. Hope everybody's having a great Friday so far. So far, so good for me. Actually went out yard selling this morning, found a few. Got a really cool like antique framed map of London. All right, no interest in that. We will put it in the bin of shame, and I can always pull it back out of the bin of shame if somebody decides they want me to run it. But for now, we'll stick that down there. And then we'll go ahead and do lot 5. And then just found a few other kind of miscellaneous things this morning. Oops, not lot 4. We just did that one. Lot 5. Looks like I have 4 or 5 pre-bids now, so appreciate that a whole lot. And this is going to be a 1959 book that's 1,003 household hints and work savers to help you beat the high cost of living. I don't know if any of these are still applicable today, but let's just take a look at a couple of them. It says, if a rainy or snowy day catches you without a foot scraper, which would always be here because I don't own a foot scraper, use this practical makeshift to save your floors and rugs. Place a brick or large sharp stone on your doormat as a temporary means of scraping mud or snow from your shoes. So there you go. Here's how you can turn 1 pound of butter into 2 with gelatin. I have never heard this. You can work 1 pound of butter into small pieces and let stand at room temperature. Then stir in gelatin and some hot, fresh, or evaporated milk. And you can add coloring if desired. So if you want some red butter or blue butter, there you go. Hey, Julie McIntyre. Hey, Rainey, Dick Doug, anybody else I missed. So anyway, you have 1,003 of these great household hints. It was brought to you by First National Bank and Trust Company of LaPorte, Indiana. You're a friendly bank, as opposed to an unfriendly bank. And then you also have an advertisement for an insurance company on the back, some general contractors. So in addition to the hints, there are some advertising items in here. Here's a Chevrolet advertisement. Book's in pretty good shape, just a few stains on the cover. Everything's intact though, so let's go ahead and start this. $3.15, and we're off and running. Let's see. Brighten your soiled glazed chintz. Wicker furniture. How to clean it. Thank you, Chesterton. You can wrap silver and gold evening bags in treated tarnish-proof paper to prevent tarnish. So hopefully you get a lot of use out of this. Oh, there was one more ad on the middle for Lumber and Coal Company too. All right, that's coming your way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think that took us through the first 5. So let me go ahead and see what pre-bids we have here. All right, we'll start with the Elvis. Thank you very much. Presley trading cards. If I can find them. What did I do with them? There they are. So let me pin these. All right, and these are from 1978, and there's 35 of them. I'll just kind of go through some of them here real quick, then we'll start the clock. So you get, there were 66 in the set originally, so this is a little over half the set. Looks like there aren't, at least this one has some writing on the back, like a little mark. Let's see if the other ones do too. Well, yeah, I don't know if they were checking off something. But you get Elvis facts on the backs of each one. That one does not have writing on it. There's Jailhouse Rock. I mean, I would say they're in good condition. I don't know that they're, like gem mint or anything, but for the most part, there's some corner wear on them. So we saw a couple that had writing at the beginning. So let me go ahead and start these. I'll put it at 45 seconds so we can run through these, and that's off and running. And thanks for the bid, Alan Little. Elvis Fact 21. What's everybody's favorite era of Elvis? Do you like young Elvis, 60s movie Elvis, 70s fat Elvis? Thanks for the bid, Dry Creek. He loved people. I know they said Elvis could never say no, and that was part of his problem. This one does have some writing on the back. I'm not sure what they were doing there. There's Elvis in the Army. Looks like Brian is going to take those. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Cly003, Mitchell May June, thank you for coming in. We're going through the items with pre-bids right now. So next up we have number 8. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. As I mentioned, I went yard selling this morning. Probably go yard selling again tomorrow morning. It's supposed to be nice weather, so it seems like a lot of times it rains every weekend. Let's see if we can get this whole thing on the screen here. I might have to take the phone off. So this is a pillowcase that says Mother, and it's from Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. Just kind of scroll around. Best I can tell, no rips or tears. It's got the U.S. Army there, Fort Chaffee, Arkansas, and then has a little poem about Mother. So, to one who bears the sweetest name and adds luster to the same, who shares my joys, who cheers when sad, the greatest friend I ever had, and so on and so forth. Have the tassels on the edge, so we will go ahead and get this one started. We will not do 45 seconds, 15, and that is off and running. The U.S. Army Fort Chaffee pillowcase. Thank you, Nurse Toes, for the bid. Hey, True Penny, thanks for coming in. Doing antique and vintage ephemera today. All right, thank you, thank you. My next show will be 2 weeks from today. I've decided I'm doing shows every other week now. I was just spending too much time getting ready for weekly shows. So I figured, just have shows with more in it every other week. All right, let's see. Lot 36 is next. Let's see if I can find this. Here we go. Yeah, I thought this was a neat piece. Pretty unique. It is a 1957 Kappa Alpha Order, which is a social fraternity at colleges. And it is basically in the theme of a Confederate $1 bill. But then if you turn it over, it's an invitation to the Annual Old South Parade and Ball, May 11th, 1957. So you have the fraternity crest on the back. I'm not sure which chapter Pi chapter is. I don't know what university this is from, but that would be easy to look up. So anyway, this is what you're bidding on. And here we go. Yeah, so just don't try to spend this. Confederate money would not be good anymore anyway, but since it's not a real dollar bill. Thank you, Michelle, for the bid. All right, that is coming your way. I do have a real piece of Confederate currency that I'm trying to figure out what to do with. The best way to move it. I'm 99% sure that it's authentic, but I need to have somebody probably look at it just to make sure. So I might bring that to Whatnot at some point. I'm not sure. I think it's $100 bill, but I can't remember for sure. I'll show it before the show's over. I'll go grab it out of my office. All right, next up we have lot 45. That also has a pre-bid, and let's see, where did I put those? Here we go. So these are from 1973. Yeah, if it's real Gremlin, I mean, based on the comps I could find, it's worth probably in the $75 to $100 range, I guess. But like I said, I mean, I'm not like a currency or coin person that often, so I don't always. I just want to make sure somebody looks at it first. So this is a set of 5 books from the International Atomic Energy Agency that was put out in 1973, and it's just 5 different languages. Have English. I don't know if that's German, maybe French. That looks like some kind of Cyrillic, maybe Russian, and then maybe that's Spanish. So not 100% sure I got the languages right, but anyway, 5 different languages. They're in pretty good shape. They were binder clipped together. If you can see right there, there's an indentation on the front and the back. This one also has a little bit of staining on the front here, but no rips or tears to anything, and overall in pretty good shape. And these were just, I think the original, let's see what it says here. It's got a little introduction. Yeah, it says that the statute was originally approved on October 23rd, 1956 by the Conference on the Statute of the International Atomic Energy Agency, which was held at the United Nations. And then they amended it twice, once in 1963, then once in 1973, which are these books. So we'll go ahead and get this one started. $3 start, and we are off and running. Hey, welcome in Ashley Dell, Honey and Bear Creates. Hey, Grandma Sherry. Hey, Hokey Scott. Thanks for stopping by. Looks like Michelle is going to take these. Thank you so much. Yeah, so make sure you bookmark my next show. Like I said, it'll be 2 weeks from today. So it makes May the 16th, 23rd, I think it is. And congratulations on unlocking bronze, Michelle. All right, next up we have lot 33. Let me pin that one. And these are going to be 1901 Bible lesson picture cards. Let's see, where would I put those if I was me? There they are. Hey, Sandy Acres. All right, so there are 29 of these, and I believe in the description, yeah, they're not, there's no duplicates in here as far as I know, and it's not a complete set of the whole year, but there are some of the months that are complete, and there's 29 total. So like this one's from April 7th, and these were, I guess, Sunday school cards where it would have, you have a Bible verse on the front and then some text. And then on the back, you have the lesson for that day. So this lesson was about the resurrection of Jesus. And this was April 7th, 1901. So then we got April 14th. April 21st, April 28th. So April is complete. Then we have May 5th. These have really good graphics. A lot of the color's really good on these. Overall, they're in pretty good shape. I think a few of them might have had a little bit of creasing. Here's May 12th. May 19th, the Ascension. Let me get through about half of them, then we'll go ahead and start the clock. Looks like another one of the Ascension. Jesus appears to Paul. That one's Jesus appears to John, so I guess that's John. And then there is a new heaven, a new earth. This one for that one. So just a few more. There's Noah's Ark. That one's got really cool graphics there. Oh, I thought that was a dinosaur, but I guess it's an elephant's trunk. Yeah, Noah saved in the ark. So let me go ahead and start this. We'll just put it for 45 seconds. Let it start running. This one's August 4th, August 11th, August 25th. Is that Abraham taking Isaac to sacrifice him? Yep. That one's Jacob at Bethel. There's Jacob again. This one looks like, I guess it's an attendance card there. Now we're into October and November. Just show the rest of these real quick. Thank you, Ellen Little. All right, those are coming your way. You're so welcome. Yeah, dinosaur. Obviously, the dinosaurs did not make it on the ark, I guess, since they're not around anymore. Right? All right, and then we have one more pre-bid. So if there's any other request, go ahead and put those lot numbers in the chat, or you can just pre-bid and we'll run through them again. Then after this, I'll just start showing things again. So this was a pretty cool lot here. Let's see, lot 29. Let me find that one. Oops. There it is. Yeah, so this one, as mentioned, does have some military stuff in it. Lot 22. Let me write that down. All right, we'll get to that one next. All right, so in this one, I really didn't look through this stuff that closely. It's just to gather because it was in the same box that I picked up somewhere. So you have a Western Union greeting. I don't think this one was military, just when I glanced at it. It does have a tear on it. It's a congratulations, Nashville, Tennessee. Let's see if we can get it open here. Love you both. Best wishes for a lifetime of happiness. So it must have been somebody got married. As you can see, there is some wear to that there. See if I can get it back in the envelope without doing any more damage to it. Well, all right, there we go. All right, this next one, illustrations of standard government headstones and markers. This says this person was buried in France. I guess they died during the First World War. So anyway, whatever that is. And then this is from, I guess that must be the person who was killed in World War I, and they're just wanting a government monument. So Yeah, so this person was interred in France. So, that's interesting. So you can't even buy a government marker at your expense to put it in a private cemetery. So, all right, then this was some kind of magazine from 1895. The cover has come off, but you can see there December 13th, 1895. This is the Tarbor Beacon, and it's the 1895 souvenir edition. And as you can see, it's got some pretty cool advertisements. Somebody cut a picture out, it looks like. Let's just look real quick and see what's in here. Here's apple packing, people apple packing. If there's anything we want to see over there, I'll just take the phone off. But so far, no pictures over there. There's Gaston Hall at Tabor College. Is Tabor in Iowa? I think it is. Let me know if anybody knows. There's the Tabor Public School building, and then there's, let's take this off real quick. And there's another picture there. There's Whitten Cottage at Tabor College. And then there is the view from the public park. Hey, Stephanie Yor, thanks for coming in. Zibzob, Blue Bear. Anybody else I missed? Corn is king. And then here's the back. So you got that. And this is somebody's birth certificate. And it was somebody born in, this was just in with the stuff. Oh, yeah. There's like an very old Social Security card. And then this is a birth certificate from somebody in 1888, and they didn't register, though, till 1954. So you got that one. And this is another one from the War Department, 1917, it looks, or 1919, rather. Graves Registration Services, American Expeditionary Forces. Let's see what we got in here. Introduction for the Friends of our Dead. Circumstance of death. So anyway, it's some kind of bulletin. This is probably related to that person who died in France, I guess, during World War I. Let's see what this is. Photography of graves. Yeah, so this is a letter about this guy dying. I am sure that you will pardon the use of a form letter such as we are sending you today when you try to realize under what great stress office is working. It is with great sorrow that I am writing you, and only the urgency of your desire to know prompts me to push forward this notification when my note is required to be so formal because of the great number to which my name is to be signed. Yeah, his body lies buried in a spot which is under our care and control, and there will be no danger of its loss or neglect. So I guess that's the place in France. So you have that, and then finally, let me get this back in here. Well, oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to make anybody seasick. If I can get this to go past that little crease there. There we go. And then finally, another thing from the War Department, 1920, came from the Adjutant General's Office. Let's see what's in here. Yeah, and this was all in a box of stuff. I got it in an estate sale, and I actually reached back out to the estate sale company because anytime I get personal stuff like this, I just want to make sure a family member didn't want it. But they said they did not want anything that was there, so I think that's all that was in there. one more thing. All right, so you have this little postcard. It says the enclosed certificate is issued by direction of the president, which must be this certificate, I guess. Yeah, he died with honor in the services of his country in 1918. Then I assume this might be a funeral service, but don't know that for sure. Yep. Service in sacred memory of our fellow Christian friend Journey B. Adamson. And then this looks like it might have been a copy of a letter. Oh, this is a copy of that letter that was in this envelope. So anyway, that is all going to be one lot. As I mentioned, it was all found together, so that's that's how I decided to lot it up, even though not all of it's military. All right, so this whole stack of stuff here, and we will start this. We'll just do 15 seconds since we've already shown it, and that is off and running. Thank you, Allison, for the bid. Appreciate everybody stopping by today. All right, good get on that stuff. And as I mentioned, everything should ship out. You're welcome. Everything should ship out no later than Monday. All right, looks like we have another pre-bid on the Grace Kelly magazine. So let me pull that. I think that's the one I started at $1 because it was missing some pages. Back in there. Let's see, where is the Grace Kelly magazine? It is right. Is that it? Yep, there it is. Hey, welcome in, Journal Junkie, Check Stain, Blue Beret. All right, so this is a Cosmopolitan magazine from 1955. It's got Grace Kelly on the cover. There is like a, it doesn't go through, but like the colors come off. And it is missing the sections of pages that have the Grace Kelly article. So I think somebody must have torn that out. There's still a lot of great ads and everything in here. But since it did have that torn out, this is the thing I'm starting at $1. But you got her over here in her nice hat. You got the bobby pin curl permanent. You got a mattress ad, Tampax, a Bell telephone system, Harvey Sherry's and Ports. And there's the Permalift panties. I guess you can dance around in them. We'll show a couple more pages. When you get into all the ads here, there's a way to stop nail biting there. A dog bone wrench. All right, let me go in and start this, and then we'll continue to run through it here. So we will start it. I'll do 30 seconds on this one and get through a few pages, and that is off and running. Thank you, Ellen Little. Yeah, I like this. This guy's having a good time. The girl who waved the flag. Here's a white villa in Rio. Mexico ad, Nestle color ad. There's a Hennessy ad over here. Arlene Francis. All right, Chevalier. That is coming your way. Oh, lot 22. Let me get to that. I had a request for that a minute ago. Hey, Nini611, Benji Lim, thanks for stopping by. And let's see, let me go here, turn off pre-bids, and lot 22. Oh, I guess. Oh, that was what we just ran. So, all right. So we are actually out of the pre-bids now. So if anybody has any other pre-bids, feel free to get that in, or put the lot number in the chat, and I'll pull it right up. Otherwise, I'm just going to start grabbing stuff and running through it. So I'll tell you what. Let's do these snapshots. So lot 43. I'm just going to kind of grab them as they're on top of the stack now. So this is 17 vintage photos. They're mostly like snapshot type, although some are a little larger. I agree, Alan. That was a great little magazine. So I'm not sure what this is. It almost looks like it's a movie scene. So I don't know if somebody took a picture of a TV screen or what, but I don't know. It just looks like a movie set because you have this one as well that goes with it. I assume that's the same deal. So you have those two. Then you have this guy here. I don't think any of these had any writing on them. This looks like some type of maybe factory or something. I'm really not sure. Nothing to indicate what it is there. Then you have this guy and lady here. Then you have this cute dog. Hey, James Robb, thanks for coming in. Then you have it's either a dad and a son or a granddad and a son. And in the back it says Oxidol and Rinso. So I guess they're in front of a grocery store. Because those are soap brands. Then you also have I guess it's a ice cream roll. I think it says 49 cents. And then they're also next to the hot cross buns place, maybe. So some interesting stuff going on in that picture. Here's a picture of the Detroit Tiger Stadium, standing in front of Gate 3 and Gate 4. So I'm not sure what year that is. I've actually been to the old Tigers and the new Tiger Stadium. Here's somebody who played basketball for St. Joseph. I don't know if that's the college or a high school. And then here is somebody, looks like they're maybe delivering a package to some kind of business. I can't read what's in the window. They're out for a drive in their car. Here, that's Aunt, somebody, and Ed. So that one is marked. And then they're getting ready to go for a boat ride. I got the dogs on the front of the boat there. Here's some more people out for a drive. Stop for a nice scenic picture somewhere at Nuranu Pali in 1939 anyway. And then assume that's a man and his son at 5 months. They thought it was 4 months. Crossed it out and put 5. There's another car picture. And then there's a couple of people on horseback. I think there's one more. That's Mar and Ganel done on their honeymoon, ? And then finally you have, this looks to be, I don't know if it's in another country or just at a Chinese restaurant. But you can see some Asian characters back here. A couple of the people look Asian. I can't tell. It might be on a boat, actually, if you look here. Oh, here we go. Garden party aboard. Yeah, so it's on a boat. So anyway, you're getting all 17 of these. And let's go ahead and start this at 20 seconds. And that is off and running. So some cool pictures in here. There's the boat ride. There's some people on horseback. An old car. Man and his baby. Another old car picture. The boat with the dog on the front. Lady in a car ride there being driven around, it looks like. Then you got the guy delivering the package. You have St. Joseph's. You have Tiger Stadium. And Allison took that. Thank you so much. And you just hit bronze tier, Allison, so make sure you click on the little crown at the top and claim your discount. I know I have a couple of platinum and diamond members, so all right, let me just grab the next thing. This is going to be 37. Let me just make sure I didn't get any pre-bids. Nope. So these are going to be 8 space-related first day covers. So I think they're all from the 70s pretty much. So this is Apollo 14 Recovery Force, a U.S. Navy. I guess technically not a first day cover. This is more like a commemorative envelope. It was stamped, postmarked on board the USS Hawkins in 1971. I think it's just got cardboard inside it, but they're sealed up. Here's an actual first day issue of the Apollo Soyuz 1975, postmarked at the Kennedy Space Center. And then here's the Skylab Project First Day issue, 1974. This one does have the nice cachet on there. Oh, and let's see. Yeah, I think it's got some information about the cachet inside there. Here's another one of these. There's actually 3 of these Apollo 14, but they were different colors and postmarked in different places. So I went ahead and threw them in. And this one's got a Christmas stamp on it, 1971. Once again, the Apollo 14 Recovery Force. And there it is again. This one's postmarked in USS Spiegel Grove. Hey, Screwston, Texas, Shabby Mania, B and Fox. Thanks for coming in. And then here's an Apollo 15, Scott, Warden, and Irvin, 1971. Has the nice NASA cancellation with the Albert Einstein stamp. Here's a First Man on the Moon, first day of issued, postmarked in Washington, D.C. And then finally, here's the United States in Space, A Decade of Achievement, first day of issue, 1971. And it looks like whoever this Major G.W. Williams must have collected stamps and sent all these off to be postmarked. I can remember when I was a kid doing that to get first day cover issues. So we're going to run this one for 15 seconds. It's a $3 start, and that's off and running. So all space-related first day covers and commemorative issues. The Skylab, Apollo, and another Apollo 14. Sure. Let me write those down real quick. Let's see. No interest in that. We'll stick that down there with the other thing that didn't sell. So, all right. So 9, 40, 44, and 48. All right. Let me just go ahead and pull those real quick. So let's see. 9 is... That's the Pan Am stock certificates. I think they're right here. So let me go ahead and put those out there and pin it. Hope everybody having a great Friday so far. Let's have a good weekend. We're going to go help my daughter do yard work tomorrow. It's supposed to be beautiful here. So go yard sewing in the morning, then go do a little yard work. Trim some bushes, things like that. And nothing else really planned the rest of the weekend. Let's see. And then 40. That's the photo album. Where did I do with that? There it is. Tell you what, let's go ahead and run 9, and then we'll do 40, then I'll pull the other 2. So this is going to be 4 Pan American Airways stocks. So let's see if they have any dates on them anywhere. 1980 is the date on that one. And I think they were... No, I think there's 2 100, 2 100, and 2 500. So the greens are the 500 there. And here's the red that's 100. And that one's 1975. They are all filled out in the back and everything as well. This one's 1975. And then finally, this one's 1980. So you got 2 of the 500, 2 of the 100. We'll go ahead and run that. 15 seconds, and that is off and running. Thank you, New Jersey Rock Girl Allison, for the bid. Hey, Reynolds, Cal Bryan, anybody else I missed? Appreciate you coming in today. All right. Hey, Nana04. All right, and then this photo album was lot 40. Okay, let me run the other 2 things first, just in case. I mean, although I don't guess it really matters because the most you're going to pay is $9 anyway. But let me run the lighter ones first anyhow. So we ran 9. We've got 40 pulled, 44. I think back to the old days of whatnot when it was so important that you ran all your lightweight stuff first. 44 is the miscellaneous ephemera. I saw that somewhere. Where did I see that? I'm semi-organized, but not totally organized. There's 48. Oh, there it is. So there's 44. Tell you what, let me go ahead and pin that one, and we'll run it next. And then last is lot 48, which is those Coca-Cola ones. All right, I think I got everything pulled, Allison, so let's go ahead and run through these. So this was just a hodgepodge of stuff, and the only reason it's together is because it was in the same box. So, well, I'm glad somebody thinks I am, Allison. I appreciate that. This is some kind of, I assume it's a book plate, maybe. It looks like scissors or pliers, or is it clippers? Maybe. I don't know, but it looks like a patent drawing almost of something. So, but there's not anything that indicates where it came from, and it's got all this white space here. So it kind of looks like a book plate, though. Here's a couple of canceled checks from 1869. Has the 2-cent stamp on it there. First National Bank in Brooklyn, New York. And they are punched out like they used to cancel checks. This one's also punched out. That one's got a nice hand cancellation of 1864. Or it's 1868 over here, so I don't know. Maybe that's 1868 too. But anyway, a hand cancel. Let's see if I can. Yeah, 1868. I can see it now once I move that back. There's 2 slides. They were, looks like airplane pilots and a view from an airplane. It's kind of hard to see them, but got those 2. Then we have this envelope from Alquipa, Pennsylvania. And this one's a book plate for sure. You can see where it was attached down here. And that's Tilden & Company's Manufactory of Medicinal Extracts in New York. So it looks like an engraving. There's a postcard, marbles. And then we have some pictures. You have Lifshay Studio in Brooklyn, New York. And with love, Anne. I'm not sure who Anne is, but there she is. Then you have this picture of a mother and a baby. It does have some, tearing around the edge. It could probably be trimmed up if you wanted to. Then this was from the Shirley Temple's 50th birthday party, April 23rd, 1978. It says reprinted by Hobby House Press. So I guess that is what it is. Here's, wow, the happily married couple. I will say my daughter looked a lot happier than that after she got married last weekend. Thank goodness. They're actually in Italy right now. They were hoping to make it to Rome like when the Pope was announced, but they just missed it. I think they're still in Venice right now. So anyway, this one is Brooklyn, New York as well. Frank Lavecchia. He looks very Italian. So then here is the University of P Medical. I don't know if that's Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. I'm not sure, but it was 1936 is when this was taken. It appears 25th anniversary. And then here's an elementary school class, the 6B class in January of 1943. This one does have a crease up here, if you can see it right there. Other than that, it's in pretty good shape. But yeah, Brooklyn Elementary School class. Bernice, somebody. And then finally, if anybody likes the New York Giants, this was a softball benefit that they did. I don't know what year, but I do remember Dave Meggett. I don't know if I remember. I think I remember Lewis Tillman, but it's also looks like they all signed it. They do appear to be original signatures. So you got the New York Giants picture, and then the other pictures, and then just the other miscellaneous stuff here. So we'll go ahead and get this one started. We'll just run it for 15 since I've already shown it, and that is off and running. The checks are cool. 1860s. And I like this book plate. Well, I'm not sure what that is, but I do like the book plate of the building. The airplane slides. That's a great picture. It is too bad it's messed up, but it could be trimmed, like I said. There's Anne. There's the elementary school class, and Allison took that one. Thank you so much. Let me get this one back in the envelope. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, just in case anybody new's in here, I'm Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. You can check out all my social media stuff at franklinhillventures.com. I do have a podcast that I do with two of my friends, the Finders Flippers Resale Podcast. You can find us on YouTube or Spotify. Just search Finders Flippers and we come right up. And then also have 3 antique booths here in the Knoxville area. So if you're ever coming through, stop by and check me out at Beard and Antique Mall, West End Antiques, both in Knoxville, Granny's Attic Antiques in Clinton, Tennessee. We just had our spring festival last week in Clinton. And well, not unfortunately, my daughter was getting married, but I did hate to miss the festival because I usually work it every year. But yeah, it was so busy. It's like we have 2 festivals a year in Clinton, and the spring one's kind of big. Oh, lot 48. Not I'm like, why is that not coming up? There we go. So let me pin this. Yeah, and the fall one's like our real. I mean, that one's so huge. In fact, if it's usually the first weekend in October, if you're looking for like a road trip, it'd be if you like antiques, it would be worth coming to. It's a lot of fun. There's like 10 or 12 antique stores all within walking distance. They all are in sales. The streets are closed. There's food vendors, street vendors, live music. They've had a beer garden in the past. And then downtown, it's in Clinton, Tennessee, which is just about 30 minutes north of Knoxville. So, all right. So this is going to be some antique Coca-Cola billheads, invoices, and there's, I think, 9 of them total. There's this packet. I assume this was like one route or something where they, totaled it up. You can see it's still got the original stick pin. Before they used staples, they would use the old stick pins. And these are all 1922, I believe, or 1923, it looks like. So you have the total there, then you have each of these billheads, and they're from Marion Coca-Cola Bottling Company. I don't know if that's probably South Carolina, I guess, Marion, South Carolina, or maybe Marion, Georgia. And I think there's a couple that are different colors. Let's see, those are all black. I was thinking there was one that was red in here. Yeah, and then you have one red one. And then, so you got all those. They were all 1923. Then you have these. Yeah, 1916 is this what this one's stamped. And this one's Waycross, Georgia. And then this one here is also Waycross, Georgia. And maybe it's the second page of this one. I don't see a date stamped on it anywhere. But anyway, you're getting all 9 of those antique Coca-Cola bill heads. Let's go in and start it. We'll go 15 seconds, $3, and it is off and running. Yeah, but it's hard to believe these are over 100 years old now. These are, 102 years old, and those are, 108, 109 years old. It's hard to believe stuff like that survives. I mean, they're in better shape than me, and I'm only 57, soon to be 58. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Yeah, with our daughter getting married last weekend, we now have 50% of our kids married. So 2 more to go. We've got our 2 oldest girls got married, and then we still have our son and then our youngest daughter to go. So, but we did make it through 2 of the girls' weddings anyway. Now I've got to start replenishing the till for next time. Yeah, so keep that in mind when you're bidding. Have pity on me. I just paid for a wedding. Just kidding. Let's see. Number 40. Yeah, so this is a really neat photo album. I mean, unfortunately, it's in one of those, photo albums that we all used in the 80s, and 70s that had the sticky stuff. This was in with the photo album, so I don't know if this is like who the family is. I mean, this is just a photocopy of an 1891 front page of a newspaper. Yeah, that's congratulations, Brian. Yeah, I am too. We have a grandson who's soon to be 11 months, and I've already booked my airfare to Houston to go to his first birthday party. So can't wait. I'm hoping my wife can go too, but we're dealing with her mom's having some health issues, so we're trying to, we don't want to necessarily both be gone. But anyway, yeah, looking forward to that. But that's awesome. 9 pounds, 6 ounce baby girl. Yeah, ours is a baby boy. And I'll tell you what, he was the life of the party at the wedding. He is the happiest baby I've ever met in my life. Like his mom, my daughter, she literally cried for the whole first year of her life. I mean, this kid only cries when you put him in his car seat. And then you can tell it's fake because as soon as you open the door, he just quits and then smiles at you really big. But anyway, these were stuck in the front of the photo album. These are newer photos. I'm assuming that's New York City because that looks like the Twin Towers back there. Well, that one doesn't necessarily look quite as new. Then you have these 2 ladies. Speaking of grandkids, that looks like grandkids. Looks like maybe they're at the beach somewhere. Then there's somebody's Christmas picture. Just another family picture. This one's from 1960. Maybe a wedding or maybe a prom or something. They're square dancing there. Looks like a typical 1980s party there, drinking their Budweiser and dressed in a very punk rock looking. I was looking to see if there was anything that gave you a hint to the year other than the fact she looks very early 80ish. So, hey, Amanda Spiga. Thanks for coming in. And there's that one. So just a few more of these that were loose at the front. Like I said, they were just stuck in the album, so I'm throwing them in. And then we'll let me go ahead and take this off. So as I mentioned, these are in one of those albums that uses the kind of sticky stuff. I mean, it's not really sticky, but the pictures do adhere to it. I did not even try to take any out. So I have no idea how easy that'll be to take out. And I don't want to, rip anything. So they're just being sold as they are in the album. And just kind of try to show you each one. I did not count these. I usually try to count photo albums. See if I can get it where the glare's not too bad. Looks like they're on a ship right there. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where these are. I know there was, let's see if we can find any that have any known landmarks. I'm making a muscle there. These look like they're probably 50s if I was guessing, but I don't know that for sure. Chime in if anybody sees any like landmark they recognize in any of these. Somebody asleep on the bus. I'm not sure what that is. It's kind of dark. Then these down here, I don't know what they did. This one's not in great shape, and this one they scribbled all over. So I don't know if it was somebody they didn't like. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Cosmo Reception. Can't see enough to figure anything out there. There you go. So with that car, I would say 40s, maybe early 50s. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Can I read that? Nope. Here's some baseball players. I don't know if it's like minor league or it says the Angels. So anyway, you got 4 baseball players there. Looks like some photo booth shots here. Let me show a couple more pages, then we'll start it and finish out the album while the clock runs. Sorry about the glare. That one looks hand tinted there. There's somebody on a ship. Here's some kind of grouping, but once again, there's nothing to indicate who these are. It might be like a, well, no, they look too young. It looks like high school girls. It's hard to tell back then. Everybody looked, most of them look older, but then you have like this one back here who looks pretty young. So, all right, let me go ahead and start this one. Then we'll show the rest of the book. So let's start. I'll do 45 seconds so we can make it through, and that is running. I love this picture. Definitely looks to be hand tinted. But yeah, the colors are really cool in that one. Yeah, and even if you haven't bought anything, I mean, the shipping on this, even though it's pretty heavy, will be the $9.21. I know some of y'all are probably close to free, if not free yet. Looks like wedding pictures. Yeah, so it looks like the back half of this. Sincerest thanks, Catherine and Billy. I guess all these are Catherine and Billy. I think my favorite pictures in here were the baseball players. Maybe somebody can figure out something to identify. Now we're into the 60s, 1968 here. Special delivery, maybe. Maybe it's a wedding or a baby shower. All right, Chevalier, thank you. Let me just go in and, since we've only got one page to go, we'll go ahead and show it. Look at that wallpaper. That is something else. Yeah, there's a close-up of the wallpaper. Is that like one of those kissing couple figurines right there? Maybe. I think that's it. Nope, 3 more. All right. Oh, we're got one more pre-bid, so let me pull lot number 47. Thanks for the pre-bids, everybody. It makes things so easy when you know what everybody wants to see. Let's see, where were these? Here they are. And I'm not going to try to show all of these, but we'll try to show a few. I've got so many photo slides, and most of them I just run huge lots of them through a local auction house we have here. And I guess there's at least 2 people who live in town who love them because it's ridiculous what they go for. But I thought I'd pull one bag out here and run them today. These are from the 80s. They're all London. Well, no, they're all Europe, according to what was on the carousels they came out of. Um, I assume they're tourist photos. What is that? Oh, is that a soccer? I have no idea what this is. Slides are so hard to show and what not show. I do have a light board, but I used to have an iPad I would use too. We'll look at a couple just to give you kind of an idea of what's in there. Yeah, like this one's one of the souvenir ones, English cathedrals. It's not one somebody took. So some of these look like they came out of a set, and then others are ones that they took themselves. And I have no idea exactly how many are in there, but you can see it's a pretty large batch. And they look like they're from 1983. So I'm just going to go ahead and run these because I really can't do them justice anyway. But yeah, I'd say there's at least maybe 60, 70 of them, somewhere in that range. All right, let's run these for 15 seconds. And they are off. So there's Durham Cathedral, I guess. I'm not sure what. That's a lamppost of some sort. There's a car. All right. Thank you, Chevalier. All right. If anybody has any other requests, you can put the lot number in the chat, or if you put a pre-bid in, I'll continue to keep an eye out from those as well. Let me clear that, and then we'll just grab the next thing from the list. Is anybody, I did run this earlier. Just say, put a yes or no or something. Is anybody interested in this Tux Christmas card and 1910 recessional booklet like Kipling? Like everything, it'd be a $3 start. So let me know if you want me to run that. I already did run it once, so I'm not going to run it again unless somebody wants me to. Let's go and do, lot 31. And these are going to be studio portraits. So this one looks to be hand tinted. It's Columbia Studios. I do not know where that is, but they gave her some very rosy cheeks. Matches her not so rosy smile there. And then this one is Oil City, Pennsylvania. I assume it's a mother and a daughter, it looks like, from Oil City. And then I think the last one's from Cookeville, Tennessee. Harding Studio in Cookeville, Tennessee. You got the lady with the fur coat, it looks like, on. So you're going to get all 3 of those. And we will run that for 15 seconds, and it's off and running. Oil City, Pennsylvania. Columbia Studios, Miss Rosy Cheeks there. And then Harding Studio in Cookeville, Tennessee. Thank you, Chevalier. All right, let's go ahead and grab lot 7. So these are some mid-century modern postcards from Nank, Nank Studio in Barbados. Plus four like unmarked, more just like cards. They're not postcards, but these were all hand painted. You can Google Nank Studio and get some information, but it was around in the 50s, 60s range. But they would make these cards, and for, I guess, probably for tourists to buy. So here's somebody carrying a dolphin on their head. I think that one's actually a postcard. Postcard, maybe. Yeah. So, and there's where it says designed, printed, and painted at Nank Studio, Barbados. But great color on these. There's some people going to market, it looks like, in their horse-drawn carriage. That one's just a card. And then here's somebody doing the limbo at Barbados. That one's also just a card. And then this one says Max Speed Man, Barbados. I guess they're racing. That one's a postcard. And then here's the city police in Barbados. I mean, you can kind of feel some texture. So I think, they were probably printed and then hand colored. Here's the Steel Band Man. That one's a postcard. Then last, you got another Steel Band Man just on a blank card. So it's all 8 of these items. As I said, if you look up the studio, I believe they're from the 50s or 60s. And whoops, don't bid. Don't bid. I ran next, and it's the well, let me know if you want to cancel this one, Chevalier, because that's for the first day covers. Or you can have the first day covers for $3. Just let me know. If not, you can request to cancel that one you just won. Let me know, though. And then I'm going to pin the I hate the run next. It's the first time I've done it in the show, though. So, what's lot 7? All right, let me pin this one. Yeah, so let me know, Chevalier. Do you want to cancel that one, or do you want the space-related postcard or the space-related first day covers? I know I'd read them earlier, so it was those. All right, I'll just set them aside for a second, and then you can just let me know in the chat. So now we're going to run the postcards. Lot 7. Start auction. 15 seconds. And that is running. So for the hand-painted Barbados postcards. Thank you, Brian. All right, those are coming to you. And I'll set those aside until we hear back from Chevalier. And let me go and just pull the next thing. Make sure I don't have any pre-bids. All right, we'll do these Valentines. Lot 11. What time is it? Yeah, I'll probably go to around 3 today. So another 40 minutes or so. Whoops. Hold on, I somehow got off the show on my computer over here. So let me go back in real quick. Hey, Chrissy, Sherry, TFT, Hen, Harris Collects, anybody else I've missed, thanks for stopping by. All right. Let me pin this. All right, so this is going to be some vintage Valentine's cards. They do all appear like they were in a scrapbook. So, probably great for junk journaling or something like that. Just have a couple little die cut boy and girl here. You have one that says "To My Valentine," and you can see on the back Then this one is Rain or Shine, You're My Valentine. Then there's Be a Sport, My Valentine. Here's I'll Brush Up If You'll Be My Valentine. I guess this was a standing one here. And then Because You're Just the Type I Like. And they did put a date of 1933 on that one. To My Valentine, I wished I was a printer's daughter because you're just the type I like. I guess I should have read that side first. And then finally, I'd jump at the chance to be your Valentine. All right, so we're going to run all those starting at $3, and those are off and running. Hey, Auntie Petunia, Carol Russ, Chris Eat, thanks for coming in. Thank you, Chevalier. And you unlock silver, so make sure you click on the crown and claim whatever that happens to be. What do I do with those? And what did I do with those? Let's see. And did you ever decide on those first day covers? What you want me to do about those? All right, let me go ahead and run lot 32. This is another pretty cool item here. Oops. This is going to be an advertising piece for Thompson's Malted Milk. So this thing measures, let's see, what does it measure? I think I had a, thought I had a size, but I don't. But you can get an idea for how big it is. Hold on, I got a tape measure right here. It's 18 inches by 9.5 inches. And it has been folded up, so that's how it'll ship. It was by Jefferson McCamer. And if you Google them, they were like a pretty famous artist from the time frame. But great color on this. It says, for punch and pep, try double malted, Thompson's double malted milk. And you have the girl and the dog boxing there. Printed in USA down in the corner. And then have the Jefferson McCamer printed signature there. So, and as I mentioned, it is folded up. So that's how it'll be shipped. There are also some kind of notes on here. It says hearts, a love letter, a love message, 3 kiss, 4 love candy, 7 corresponding wish cards, 8 indifference to a light person, 9 wish card, 10 short journey by land. I have no idea what that is, but and then over on this side you have more. 2 black 10s means change friends something. 2 red 10s change something. 3 black jacks means blue. So I don't know. Anyway, here we go. We're going to run this one 15 seconds for the Jefferson McCamer malted milk ad. Thank you, Chevalier. And I don't know the exact age of this. I would guess 50s maybe, 40s, 50s, just based on what it looks like. So, thank you, Allison. right, let me check my pre-bids here real quick. All right, no pre-bids, so we'll just grab what's next. Lot 35. All right, so this is going to be a photo from 1963 from Lufthansa Airlines. And it's some kind of, looks like tour they were doing in August of 1963. So I don't know if they were going somewhere, coming from somewhere. But it looks like a bunch of old people either getting on or getting off a plane. I would guess they're getting ready to leave. It does have some tape down here in the corner. Other than that, no rips or tears. There you can see that. Nothing to indicate who any of the people are or where they were going. So anyway, we'll go ahead and run this $3, and that is running. But you have the Boeing 707 in the background. You can see that there. And it looks like Chevalier took that one. Thank you so much. All right, let me grab lot 16 here. Guess I'll try to make it through everything if I can. So this is going to be 75 Continental larger size postcards. I put 75 plus, so there's at least 75. I probably either lost count or maybe there's a few that aren't in as good a condition. I'm going to show a few, then we'll start it, and then we'll just see how many we get through. I think all these have pretty much been used. Hey, there's the Pope, one of the popes. Paul II, Pope Paul II. So it looks like the Grand Canyon, Rome, Boston's Back Bay skyline. Looks like Venice, which is, I think, where my daughter is right now. Dialing for dollars. Wonder if they, I guess she was sending that into like a contest or something, I bet. There's Windsor Chapel. Let me show about 5 more and then we'll start the clock on these. Oh, that one's dialing for dollars too. I'm just going to show them real quick, not look at the back of everyone. All right, let me go ahead and show this one, then we'll get it started. This one does have some creases, so we'll start it. We'll do it for 45 seconds. And this is off and running. There's Brooklyn Bridge in New York City with the World Trade Center in the background. There's some more New York City. World Trade Center, Lower Manhattan with the World Trade Center. New York, the Big Apple. New York City. There's the World Trade Center. Financial capital of the world. Some kind of cathedral, a naked girl. I think I can show artwork like that, but we'll cover up real quick. There's Rome. I guess this one's probably Rome too. Rome. All right, Chevalier won. The rest will just be a surprise. You still got all those, so. All right, I got a couple more things up here, so let me, lot 17. This is something that was at the 1982 World's Fair here in Knoxville. And this was the Biggest little show on earth. So it was a miniature circus, and I can remember going to see this when I was in high school. Yeah, I was 15 when the World's Fair came here. Um, but yeah, these two guys collected this stuff and then they exhibited it at the World's Fair. So it was just all these miniature things, kind of like a train thing, I guess, but circus instead. So there's the two guys who collected it, and here's just pictures of the exhibit. But yeah, from what I remember, it was pretty incredible. Like I said, I was 15, so I'm 58 now, or 57 now, so I don't remember a whole lot about it. Uh, anyway, it's the whole book's just pictures of the exhibit. So we will run this, the biggest little show on earth, from the 1982 World's Fair here in Knoxville. We'll put 15 seconds back on the clock, and that's running. So yeah, I don't know if anybody collects circus stuff or not. Chevalier says, I will take it for $3. Thank you so much. And then we got lot 28. Let's go ahead and pin this one. So this is a Chicago Cubs commemorative book from 2003. And it's just a recap of, I think they must have won the World Series that year, maybe. Does anybody know for sure? I can't remember. But yeah, it was put out by the Chicago Tribune, and it's the remarkable story of the 2003 Chicago Cubs. Let's just go straight to the back and just see if there's all the regular season highlights, postseason. Yeah, it looks like, oh no, they did not win the World Series. They got beat by Florida, the Florida Marlins, in the playoffs. So anyway, got this started at $3, and that is running. Hey, Ahendep, Owen Little, and Laugh, thanks for coming in. See if we have any Cubs fans. Of course, when I was a kid, you were either a Braves fan or a Cubs fan because you could either watch Superstation or you could watch WGN. Yeah, lot 41, sure. 41. The travel brochures. Let me pin those and then find them. All right, so we have Pensacola, Florida, the Fiesta of the Five Flags, 1973. Fun fact, my mom in 1960, early 60s anyway, she was the queen of the Fiesta of the Five Flags in Pensacola. And we actually have a little doll, a porcelain doll, not little, a porcelain doll upstairs that somebody made, like with a replica of her in her dress. So anyway, that's the fun fact about my mom. But yeah, here's the Five Flags of Pensacola. She grew up in Pensacola, so I used to go there a lot as a kid. Here's Lake Lorraine Country Club in Myrtle Beach. It looks like, no, Fort Walton Beach. Never mind. So you got that one. Here's 1972 campground directory. Waco campgrounds in Wisconsin. Here's Rock and Washington Islands in Wisconsin. Yeah, that. See Historic Wisconsin. Here's the Bayfield area. Looks like that's also Wisconsin. So looks like a lot of these are Wisconsin. Then you had a few Florida to start with. Here's Minneapolis, Minnesota. Not sure exactly how old, but you can see the car down there on that one. I would guess, yeah, this one's probably 1930s or something based on what the cars inside look like. Maybe 1940s. Here's Fish Creek in Door County, Wisconsin. Hey, LBJ. Hey, Cavs Nation. Welcome back. If you actually left, I know that Whatnot likes to just randomly pop names up. Here's Minneapolis downtown, the Curtis Hotel, completely air conditioned. Here's Scandinavian Airlines brochure. Here's the Visitor's Guide to Wisconsin State Parks, Forests, and Other Recreation Lands. The Holland Festival in Cedar Grove, Wisconsin, 1971. Villa Louis in Wisconsin. See and Ride the Steam Train in North Freedom, Wisconsin. See Historic Wisconsin. There's Crystal Cave. Is that also Wisconsin, maybe? Yep, Wisconsin. Here's the Lumberjack Special Train in Leona, Wisconsin. Here's Escape to the Mississippi Riverwood Campers Resort in Elk River, Minnesota. Jumping off the diving board there. They look a little too... This person looks like they either pushed them or they're very concerned. But here's the Lake Superior route, 10th edition. Looks like there's a lot of ads in here. I'm guessing, 50s based on those cars, probably. So you got a mix of 70s. Looks like we had one really old one. There's boat trips. And finally, we have another Fort Walton Beach Indian Temple Mound Museum. I've actually been there. All right. So all those starting at $3. And we are off. Let's go back through them real quick. A lot of Wisconsin ones. All right, no interest in those. We will set those aside. Then I'll just pull the next lot over here. Oops, sorry about that. All right, lot 24. Let me make sure I didn't have a pre-bid. I think I'm... Nope. Okay, lot 24 is going to be some Chinese postcard booklets or postcard folders. So I don't know 100% if these are complete because it doesn't really say how many are supposed to be in there, but they're all unused, the ones that are in there. So there's that one. That one's the landscape of Mount Emi. And then here's the Summer Palace. There's only 4 in there, so I don't know how many there were originally. Then here's the Palace Museum. Yeah, and this one's got more than 4. And then finally, the scenery of Guangdong-Zaking. And you can see there's those. So you're going to get all 4 of those. More Florida. Yeah, it was mostly Wisconsin, so understand. All right, those are running. See if anybody likes China. If not, I will put these. I have a big box of postcard booklets at one of my antique malls, and I will just throw them in there into the grab bag. Let's see what else we have down here. Let's see, lot 25. This may be some more Continental postcards here. Yeah, this is 32 of them, so not quite as many as were in the last batch. Let's see what else in these. All right, so some kind of foreign postcard there. Another foreign cuckoo clocks. Looks German. So far, I think that one's German as well. There's Hamburg City Hall. Is that one of the it's a prison? So I don't know if that's one of the concentration camps or just a prison. There's so far, I think they're all German. Just looking to see if any of them had any dates on them. There's Hamburg. We'll show a few more, then we'll get it started. This one does have some staining up in the top corner, and somebody's written on the front, but it's a photo type postcard. So far, I think we're still all German, maybe. It's like a windmill of some sort. Looks like the miniature golf course down from my house. 19, nope, still no date. All right, let me go ahead and get these started. Start auction. I'll do it for 45 seconds. And we are off and running. Some kind of hotel. Also German. So far, everyone is German. Hey, Tennessee, the volunteer state. My home state. It's funny, that one was mixed in here. Now it looks like we're right back to Germany. There's playing with myself in North Carolina. Looks like another German. So we've had a North Carolina, Tennessee, and 100 German postcards. There's Brenner Pass. Then there's You Are Mine, All Mine. There's Took Precautions in North Carolina. And then What Are You Going to Tell Your Dad? There's Innsbruck. All right. Texas Meg. Thank you. Just there's the rest of them. Oh, look at this. She's dancing on that rock up there. Don't jump. There's Baby. And then there's Wells Goodyear Rubbers. Practicing safe sex in North Carolina. So a little bit of Germany, a little bit of humor, a little bit of the South. So. All right, next up we have lot 26. Let's see, got about 10 more minutes. I think I said I was going to run to 3 today, so we have Betty White here. This is a Betty White playbill from 1960. Look how young she was. Betty White, and Who Was That Lady I Saw You With? And this was at the Northland Playhouse in Detroit, Michigan. And she starred with Fred Gwynne, Herman Munster himself. So, a few ads. Then we got upcoming James Garner and John Loves Mary. You have West Side Story, Eve Arden, and Goodbye Charlie. So, a few names I've heard of. Yeah, there's James Garner to return. Does have a little tear in the back cover. There's a Coca-Cola ad and the Golden Nugget. And then there's the back. So Miss Betty White, we will not run her for 45 seconds. And she's off and running. Yeah, in 1960, what would she have been like? So she died. She would have been minus 100 miles. She is probably what, maybe 40s then? All right, no interest in that. All right, we'll do lot number 27. See if any of the remaining 4 people in here are interested in these. So these are going to be travel decals from the 1950s and 1960s. If I can get them out. So these are like the ones you'd put on the back of your RV. So we have New Mexico Land of Enchantment. They're all unused, but I have no idea if they would still stick or not. But this one's from 1951. I guess it documents they were in New Mexico 11/12 to 11/13, 1951. Here's the Hopi House at the Grand Canyon, 1951. Here's Missouri, the Show Me State. No date on that one, I don't think. Nope. Then here's Dog Patch USA. This one's 1968 is when it was copyrighted. I think that's in Arkansas, if I'm correct there. Then you got Arizona, and this one does have a little crease in the corner, and that was 1951 as well. So we have mostly 1951 and a 1968. All 5 of those for a $3 start, and we're off and running. Arizona, Dog Patch USA, Missouri, Grand Canyon, and New Mexico. The vintage decals. All right, Chevalier, thank you. And let's see. All right, that's everything from there. Let me. I know. So I put some tiki stuff in the auction just because somebody last week had asked me about tiki stuff, but I'm not going to run it unless I have a request because it's not really ephemera. It's more like ceramic wall hangings. But let me know if anybody wants me to run any of the tiki things that are in the catalog. All right, this is going to be lot 46. And this is going to be 15 vintage greeting cards. They're all unused except for one of them. And I'll show you the one that's been used. But this one's a baby shower one. It does have some of the lacing, like, the little bugs that cause lacing, I guess, got to it. There's no telling where these were stored. I can't even remember where I got them, to be honest. It's a boy. And it has a place to put their weight when they arrive and what their name is. Then here's Season's Greetings. Now, let me see if any of these have a date on them. I think they're all made in the USA, though. Yeah, all made in the USA. Here's Thanks a Million with the dog. That's a Hallmark card. Here's It's a Birthday Gift. And here's a With Joyful Easter Wishes. That one's, I don't even know I don't know if you'd call it a card or not. Somebody wrote, I guess, $1.50 on the back. And then here's this card. Okay, so this one, I guess maybe 2 have been used because this isn't even the one I was thinking had been used. But so there's one that's been used. That's a Beauty Blossom note. I'm going to set that there since it had been used. Here's You're Invited to a Bridal Shower. And then Birthday Greetings to a Good Friend. A tuneful little melody to make your birthday glad. Here's hoping it's the happiest you've ever had. Then here's another baby one. To the happy couple. This is the one that had been signed that I was thinking of. That one looks like it's a little newer maybe, but it's still made in USA. Congratulations on unlocking gold, Chevalier. Make sure you claim your coupon. There's that one. And then here's Now That You're in Your New Home. So a home warning card. Yeah, so that one's 60 maybe. God, no, 19. What is XL8? It's something 8. Is it 48? I think it might be 48. But anyway, I used to know Roman numerals really well, but I'm out of practice. There's to you and your family. And then finally, on your golden anniversary, congratulations. So I did lie on the listing. There were actually 2 that have been written in, not just 1. So anyway, you're going to get all 15 of these. The house I got these from, they had so many of these from the same time frame. I think they must have worked for a company and they were like samples maybe, but I don't know that for sure. But anyway, we're going to start this $3 and it's running. Hey, JW Treasures 2013, R Lies. Anybody else I've missed? Thanks for coming in today. Kind of getting ready to wrap up now here in about 5 minutes. But stick around, we'll find somebody to raid. Alright, no interest in the cards. Let me just look behind me and see what we want to run next. Any baseball fans? I have this baseball scorebook from the 60s that's pretty cool. Tell you what, I'll just run it and we'll see what happens. Let's see, that was lot number 30. And this might be the last lot. We're getting close to 3 unless there's any requests or pre-bids. So take a last look through the catalog and see if there's anything else that you would like me to run. So we'll pin this. Alright, so this is a scorebook from the 60s. So if you open it up, it was made by Rawlings and it's the Simplex scorebook. And it's supposed to be an easier way to score baseball. I'm old fashioned, so I like doing all the hieroglyphics that it talks about. But this first game, best I can tell, I looked up the rosters and names that were in here. I think it's from 1961, could be 1962, but they just put a 6. And I mean, it looks like a 2 out here, but the rosters looked more like 61. So, but anyway, it was Kansas City and Cleveland on September 27th. And they scored through about the 3rd inning on this game. So I don't know if it got rained out or they just got tired of scoring. And then I guess the book got put away in a drawer and then they pulled it out. And then they went to the Cincinnati-Atlanta game in 1980. And of course, the Braves in 1980 were my favorite team then. So I pretty much could have told you this lineup off the top of my head. Glenn Hubbard, Dale Murphy, Chris Chambliss, Gary Matthews, Bob Horner. Is it Burrows? God, I've gone blank on his name, though. Does anybody remember? Was it Greg? Greg Burrows? Then Bruce Benedict, Larvell Blanks. I don't remember Gomez either. But in any case, you got the Reds and the Braves, and they did make it through that whole game. And then you have the American League National League All-Star game in Los Angeles. I don't know if they actually went to these games or they watched them on TV or, what exactly. But in any case, they scored them. And, of course, you're going to recognize almost all the names there. And then the rest of the book's just blank. So if you want to use the simplex method of scoring baseball, you have plenty of pages there. But the scorebook itself is from the 1960s, I believe. So, all right, we're going to start this, and it is off and running. Hey, R. Swede. If anybody has any last-minute requests, get those lot numbers in the chat. Thank you, Texas Meg. Yeah, I like this. Is a pretty cool piece, so hope you enjoy it. And that is coming your way. For anybody who wasn't in here, all this stuff will ship out no later than Monday. I may start getting some of it packaged either tonight or tomorrow, but it'll for sure be out of here by Monday. All right, let me make sure I didn't get any pre-bids that snuck in while I wasn't looking. Looks like got everything done but 20 of those. Let me just look and see. No, I think I'm good. Unless y'all have any requests, we're going to call it a day. Stick with me just a second. We'll find somebody to raid. I really appreciate everybody coming in today. I have another show 2 weeks from today, same time, 1 o'clock. Hey, you're welcome, Allison. Thanks for coming in. And let's see who we got out there to raid today. Here, let me look on my computer and see who's running in the Ephemera category. Hope everybody has a great weekend, though. I know it's going to be beautiful here in Tennessee. Like 70s, no chance of rain, or very small chance of rain. Let's see, we have Collectibles, Behaven Training. Tell you what, let's go over to Behaven Trading. Yeah, Behaven Trading. They're doing Railroad Ephemera, and it says it's all $3 starts. So stick with me for just a second. Let's go raid Behaven Trading. They type their name in here. Select. All right, we're getting ready to raid. As I mentioned, go over to my franklinhillventures.com. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Go subscribe to my podcast. I'd really appreciate it. Everybody have a great day. And here